Aging analysis. When we are creating backlogs, particularly when we are following a pattern of using Agile development, which is where we will have things in our backlog, and as new things that we identify that have value are placed in the backlog, and we go through the process of continuous reprioritization, one of the things that can happen is that things in our backlog can remain in our backlog for a long period of time. So it's important to keep in mind that in an ideal situation where we're doing the development in an actually agile way, it's not like a first in, first out type of prioritization, but rather one that is prioritized continuously based on value. And ultimately what can happen is things placed in the backlog can actually get pushed down. What we're doing with aging analysis is looking at those things that have been in the backlog for a long period of time, and then in a lot of cases making a decision to remove them. So that may not be the only thing that we're doing. With aging analysis can also give us other information, such as duration for previous work. Are there any blockages? Sometimes it can help us identify shadow work that is being done. Shadow work is work that is work being done by the team, but it's not reflected in the backlog, something we generally consider to be a bad thing. But ultimately, it can help us see that these things exist. The bigger, more common result that comes from aging analysis is that it gives us more of the sense of when things should just simply be removed. There is a term that you may have heard, and that is YAGNI. You ain't gonna need it. So a concern that sometimes comes up is that if we remove something from the backlog, then what if we need it in the future? If something has been in the backlog for a long period of time, the likelihood of you needing that thing exactly as described in the requirement, by the time you get to it, the specifics that are needed for that are probably different enough that you're going to have to rewrite the requirements anyway. So get it out of there. An additional value that comes from removing a lot of glut from a backlog is that it helps give more of the feeling that things are moving along.